Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Another week. Stats over politics. Gary, I know I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Even though my pick was wrong, it's all good, man. It was a good series. It's a good series.
You were pulling for the Celtics in 7. That did not happen. Jaevon, other known as Vonnie. How are you doing? Are you doing okay?
We're trying to. The mental is just. It's been a roller coaster. The last time you guys saw me, it was we were on the verge of a sweep, and there was so many different things just going through my head. Like, you know what, we're about to be in Cancun with the Lakers, blah blah blah, and then the roller coaster of winning 3 straight games in the span of a weekend. So the last time we talked, we were down 3-0, and all of a sudden, a week later, we're in a game 7. If you guys could just be a fly on the wall in our group chat and see the amount of shit talking that was going on, it was top tier group chat stuff. So it's, you start hearing all these different stats, and no one's ever came back from 0-3, and you're looking at everybody was an underdog and this, then
that's a good stat.
The Celtics are the only team that's good, that aren't underdogs. They're playing at home. They have this is not that, and all these betting stats, and Scott Foster's betting or
reffing.
And he's reffing, and then you got Tony Brothers is reffing, and then all these other stats, and it's just it was a lot.
Yeah, and all of that, Gary, just to give Jaevon the false hope. I thought I was confident in the Heat in a game 7, but after 3 straight games, I was a little nervous. I can't lie. I was a little nervous after how hard I went after Jaevon last week when they were down 3-0. I thought I was going to have to just eat it. But, the Miami Heat, they saved me. It's all good. I picked the Heat in 6. They let me down on that. Nevertheless, it was a great series, and I enjoyed it. And let's just get to a couple of our YouTube comments real quick here on Stats Over Politics. Kevin, he is on his way. He says, hold it down, fellas. I'm on my way. We will see you soon. Ramon Funk says, pure sadness. He must be another Celtics fan. Jaevon, do you know? Oh, that's your guy? He's a Celtics fan, Gary?
Celtics fan, yeah, big Celtics fan. Join Ron, Ray. Join Ron, Ray.
Unfortunately for him, he is in sadness. And then James said, so sorry, Toddy. Well, you got James on your side giving you some condolences. And Uncle Manny's tapping in. He's saying, good thing I didn't take the betting advice.
He actually told me to tell you that, Vaughn.
Last,
told you himself.
The whole entire world was betting Heat money line last Monday. Or what was it, Tuesday? Whatever day it was. Yeah.
Whatever day it was. Now joining us is none other than Kevin Dent.
We are live and direct. I had to come for the Toddy funeral. I was running late. I was speeding through red lights. I couldn't miss it. I was listening in the car. I couldn't.
Well, we waited. We waited.
Jersey?
Nah, man. Vancouver. This before job.
Yeah, I got that.
That's Mike Bibby right there.
I thought it was a Dangler jersey.
A Dangler.
Nah.
It says Dangler on the back.
How you doing, Kevin? What were your thoughts on this series that we just saw?
I'm doing well, man. I got a clip ready for you guys to play, man. Kevin called it. Kevin called it. Kevin called it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and play this real quick for everybody.
All right, we're ready.
Okay. In 6, Gary says Celtics in 7.
So I've been hearing everything, and I am 100% on both sides of the fence. If this goes 7, I'm taking the Heat.
Hey, man, Shaun came on here and did his victory lap. I called it. If it goes 7, I'm not betting against Jimmy Buckets.
Kevin,
I gave you your credit for that last week. I did say that.
Hey.
I was like, Kevin picked him in 6, but he said if it went 7, Miami is the one. What's up, Gary?
I did warn him in the group chat, Vaughn, the other day. And I was like, they might fumble up. They got too excited in game 6. I don't know, man. That's what it looked like. Got a little too excited.
How you doing, Jaevon? I mean, we already covered that a little bit for the listeners right now, but Kevin just joined us. Give us an update. Are you feeling a little bit better a couple minutes later?
So, I mean, let's just take it back a little bit. Let's go back.
Don't pull
How far
me.
back
So
are we?
good.
How
So-
far back are we
You're
going?
hurt.
Should we just start the segment already?
So-
With
you might as
should I just
well,
start the
yeah.
ticker? Heat win Eastern Conference Finals 4-3 against Celtics. It's
As,
official.
as far as
It's
just
official.
hope selling is something that Vegas lives on. Selling hope is what they pride themselves on. A lot of hope was being sold when the Celtics went on this magical run. First of all, hope was being sold that the Heat were going to lose, they were going to win in 4 games. Thank you. He's a Laker fan. He's a Laker fan, so he's just
Yeah, that's your boy, right? He's getting on you saying
Yeah.
Celtics suck.
So it pains me because that magical 3-game one, the Celtics were stealing money from Vegas, so they were selling this big old hope train. The Boston Celtics were selling this big old hope train that Kevin D wasn't here when I was talking about all of these stats saying that everybody's coming back from no one's ever came back from 03. All the teams that came back and lost were underdogs. They were the heavy dogs. There was no way they would come back and win. The Celtics, they're the only team who was favored. They were favored to win the series. They were playing Game 7 at home. That's never happened when a team's been down 0-3. So I mean, it pains me. The hope that was being sold by the Boston Celtics was it was pure sadness, and everybody and their mom thought they were going to break the curse. We had RJ, Richard Jefferson, on one of the NBA Today shows just saying Celtics are going to do it. And I was saying, and I think we had won Game 5. And then I saw that in the group chat, and I was like, here we go, guys. We got the RJ curse. It's coming. He said that we're going to come back and do it before anybody. He was the first person I heard that said that we were going to do it. And then we ended up winning Game 6, and I was like, okay. I'm talking big shit in the group chat. There's no – I'm telling everybody we're going to shock the world. Both group chats, the group chat that we're in, the one that me and Dre are in, and some other folks that are in. And I'm telling everybody we're going to shock the world. We're gonna shock the world. This, then.
You told everyone that in every single group chat you have on your phone.
There's no way that we're gonna come back all the way down 0-3 just to lose in Game 7 at home. At home. And the crazy part is we're a terrible team at home.
Stinger.
As far as the game goes, we turned the ball over way too many times. They hit all of their shots, mainly their threes. I think we shot like 20. We shot like 21% from 3, something ridiculous, not good at all. Caleb Martin, I actually think that he got robbed of the Eastern Conference MVP. I thought he should have actually got it. The consistency.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take. That's a TikTok take right there.
It's not as hot as it thinks. Jimmy Butler, I thought he played well this entire series, but the consistency from Caleb Martin. I think if Caleb Martin doesn't play in the series, I don't think they win. Just the consistency across the board. I think he had his best game tonight in Game 7. Jimmy Butler was absolutely fantastic. I mean, he's the best player on the team, but I think Caleb Martin, this was like his coming out party, in my opinion. I thought that we were just gonna get like a couple of Caleb Martin games, like the magic dust will wear off. Like a couple of years ago, we saw Della Vadova have a couple of good games in the finals, and then we were like, oh, he's the step stopper, he's this, that, and the third, and I thought we were going to get kind of that similar thing, and it would just go away. He would disappear. But nah, Caleb Martin, he's like that. I think he's probably proclaimed himself as the better Martin twin, if I do say so myself. But hats off to him. The Heat, they came out and won. Is definitely for audio only listeners, you guys always hear me say it's a cold world, and Shaun has shown me a GIF that he created a few years ago of J. Cole, and it says "Cold World."
I didn't create it, but I found it. I appreciate the recognition, though.
But I mean, hats off to the Heat. Can't be mad at them. We always go at it with them. They were one of the teams I always kind of had in the back of my mind, like, damn, I really don't want to play them in the playoffs. And every time we play them, it's always some problems and situations, and they were able to do it without Victor Oladipo, without Tyler Hero, who's supposed to be coming back for the finals. The Nuggets are minus 360 to win the series, so they're heavy favorites. But, I mean, hey, the Celtics were minus 500, 550 to win the series, and I mentioned that on 2 podcasts ago, and I said there's no way that we win, and we'll win in 5 games. And that did not happen, so.
We might sweep them.
Yeah, you gotta give your hats off to the Heat. Like I said, The public bet on the Heat spread tonight, which was 7.5, and the public won. It was 83%. So if you would have bet some money on the Heat spread, you would have definitely won a good chunk of change. Most of the world did. So the Heat were stealing money the first 3 games, and then the Celtics turned around and said, "Not so fast. We're gonna come back and force a game 7 just to get blown out by 20 at home." So,
Damn, why you set it up like that? Sounds horrible.
Before
that in the Niners.
Before the podcast started, me and Shaun were listening to Big Perk on Sports
Sean,
Center, and Big Perk was saying to break up the Celtics. They got to break up the duo. It's over.
What do you think of that? I mean, what do you think about it? We were listening to it before we started. What do you think as the Celtics fan?
Jason Tatum's like 25. What do you mean break them up? They're both so still young. Like, they played in over 70 playoff games together, and they're under the age of 26. So, I mean, like, he's not even on his second contract. Jaylen Brown isn't. So, I mean, it wouldn't make sense to me. This team is a team that consistently gets to the playoffs, Eastern Conference Finals. They're going to kick through the door. I mean, they kicked through the door last year and got to the finals. So, I mean, I wouldn't break up this team. They're too good together. They've proven that they're able to get to the playoffs, conference finals consistently. So why would you break them up? Steph didn't win his first LeBron. Kev, when was the first time LeBron won?
Hey man, don't bring up him in this argument because I'm not.
I'm talking about. As
Kevin
far
ain't
as,
here for it.
I mean, LeBron,
I think 28.
Like, everybody
26.
wins most of the great ones usually win, besides Kobe. Kobe won when he was like 22. You got it.
Kobe had Shaq.
Yeah, Kobe. I mean, he was young when he won it. When he's winning them rings, he was young.
For sure.
As far as it goes, I mean, I wouldn't break this team up just because they're so young. They got a lot of experience in the playoffs. They've been to a finals before. They've been to 2 Eastern Conference Finals with 3 different coaches. So it's like, we can get to Eastern Conference Finals. It really doesn't matter who the coach is, but I don't think you break this team up. They're too valuable. If you do trade Jaylen Brown, what would you get in return? I'm not sure. But I heard Perk say like Trae Young, Dame Lillard. I don't know if I do a Trae Young trade, but maybe entertain.
Who knows if that's even being offered?
Yeah, if that's even being offered, maybe a Damian Lillard. But again, he's 30 something, and like I said, Jaylen Brown is 25, so he's younger. Spring chicken.
Garry, what do you think about this series? Because you did pick the Celtics in 7. You were close. It didn't happen. But what were your thoughts on this series? Pick up wherever you want, whether if you want to talk about the series or whether if Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum should stay together.
Well, first let's rewind it back just because, we missed so many things within that week of our podcast of just game 6. I just wanted to say real quick, game 6, man, was one of the craziest games I watched in recent memory, going up and down. It was a slugfest. It was crazy to watch. I just want to give the proper due respect on that game because as a basketball fan, if you didn't like Game 6, then you might as well quit watching the NBA because that's the best as it gets right there in terms of being a thriller. And I really just wanted to say, man, the Heat obviously did not – out of every team, I bet you out of that 141, whatever that number is, that never came back from a 3-0 deficit, the Heat are probably the least team that deserves that on the record. With Eric Spoelstra, how good he's a coach he is, Jimmy Butler, what he's been doing all year – I just feel like that was the basketball gods talking, Vaughn. And, they just basically said to you, out of all the teams, we're not going to let this team fumble the bag and look like they were weak and be a laughing stock, letting a 3-0 series come back. Even though they would have let the number 1 seed come back, still, though, they had a stranglehold in the series. And I think Jimmy Butler and that whole squad just came out today and said, no way. Of everything we built, all the, basic respect we made everyone put on their name, we're not going to just fumble the bag here right at the very end and not finish the job. So you got to give the Heat, their coaching staff, and their players to come out, like you said, on the Celtics home floor and doing big things in Game 7 like you can. Martin today went crazy. Every Heat player has really just stepped up in every which way. They weren't making those threes the last 3 games. And, this series really, if you look at the numbers on threes, it's really whoever's been hitting the 3 has been winning these games, especially the last weird Game 6, I guess you can say. But other than that, the Celtics couldn't buy a bucket today. I know Tatum got injured in the first play, and you can blame it on this or that. But at the end of the day, the Heat just look like the more poised team in the main spots. And man, like I know Charles Barkley kind of gets annoying once in a while with things he says, but if you just take all the acrobatic stuff off, you could just see like he's saying it. Sometimes you just look and they're just taking bad shots and bad possessions when they got so much talent on their team, and he's like, you know that they're so good that you want them to take those shots because you trust them to take Marcus Smart to take tough shots. You kind of trust Brown to take tough shots, Tatum take tough shots because they got so much talent. So, you know, but then again, you got to have a balance of taking tough shots and just taking timely and great shots. And the Heat shots in this whole series so much today too, just were good looks that you're going to take any day, miss or make. Just like the other day when Duncan Robinson missed 2 wide open threes and Vaughn said, no way he's going to make that. I will keep letting him shoot that. I'll take that shot if I'm a Miami Heat fan all day because he's been making those threes and you're going to take those type of shots, not the tough fadeaway three-pointer you guys have Marcus Smart threw up, which was almost in. You got to give him credit. But, you know, I think it was just a little bit better coaching at the end of the day, and the Heat just wanted it just a little bit more. I know it was a game of margins and stuff like that, but I would give the Celtics – I give the Heat credit for just pulling it out, and they deserve to have that mark on the record. And for the Celtics, I know you guys probably putting your head down today, Vaughn, but imagine if it was a 4-0 sweep. It would be coaches and more things have been fired. I think Brown's
leaving in the summer.
I think Coach Mazzulla. Coach Mazzulla, I didn't think even if he got swept, I didn't think he deserved to get fired after 1 year. But I'm because he took him to that point.
He would have,
but especially, I don't think he would have deserved it. But yeah, he might have got fired. But now for sure, I don't think they're sticking with him. They have to stick with him. And man, you got to be proud after that game 3 when you came on here when everyone was basically saying they quit. They came back, showed some heart, and fought all the way back. So you got to give them credit. It's a tough task to do. You can't say nothing about these young Celtics. I think they're going to be back again. Like you said, this Heat Celtics rivalry is starting to show itself. It's always been a rivalry for the last decade, really, with different type of players. And when LeBron was on there and with versus Paul Pierce and things of that nature. So I think that the Celtics will be back. And if they don't make any major moves in terms of maybe getting like a Dame, you know, I would maybe contemplate that for Brown just because I think Dame is just a primetime guy who can get you over the top. But if I'm the Celtics and I'm a Celtics fan, I would want to keep these young two duo together, even though I know I sent you guys a little bit of a little contract going forward in terms of the NBA, all the contracts going to be. It's going to be pretty tough when you have 2 top dogs, and they're not the main 2 top dogs. So when you pick your 2 top guys, you're going to have to make sure they're right and going forward in the NBA, especially all the contract situations coming up.
Yeah, for sure. And Kevin, you're the only one who we haven't gotten the thoughts from yet. You did pick the Celtics to win this series in 6, but as you played from your clip earlier, you said if it went 7, I'm going with Jimmy and the Heat. So I get asterisk, you were right, I guess. I mean, so what were your thoughts on this series overall?
So Gary said, for all the Celtic fans out there, pick your head up and drop them shits right back down. It's the end of a run. You know, it was a great run. I was ready for this TikTok clip to blow up. I talked about them getting swept, and they came back. So I'm just going to have to regurgitate this information because I just have to make sure you guys hear it twice. 2018, lost in the conference finals. 2019, lost in the conference semis. 2020, lost in the conference finals to the Heat. 2021, got swept in the first round. 2022, made it to the finals, lost in 6. And 2023, Eastern Conference Finals, lost in 7. Toddy, I know you want to keep this duo together. I know you don't feel the same way with Kendrick. You got to break it up. Is this worth $600 million? You're going to pay $600 million to get to this point? I mean, you really have to look at it like we did the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, they had all this talent, but when this talent disperses, they had 3 MVPs on that team. So as much as it's doing you guys a benefit to keep this team together, it's not. That's
a bad comparison, Kevin. That's a bad comparison.
You gotta let him grow. So look, Jaylen Brown's never gonna be able to be an all-star. He made it that 1 year, but he's not gonna be able to get back in there. The East is loaded. You have to give him a chance to go out there, and it's shown that it hasn't worked. So why are we going to keep running this into the wall? People get mad that we didn't keep that Thunder team together. And they actually made it to the finals and they lost. So now we're looking at them like this team. What are we going to do? Are we got to continue to keep going through? Or we got to bring in a new coach? Or we got to bring in new guys? This tandem isn't working, Toddy. Like, I know getting there is good enough, but as a Celtic fan, is that good enough to say that you keep knocking on the door 6 times, 6 years in a row? You come up to the door and go, "Can I come in?" Nope. Next year. Can I come in? Nope. Next year. Can I come in?
Quick question.
Steph Curry. Damn. So as a Celtic fan, Toddy, is this good enough for you? Like, if this is good enough for you guys just to say you put your foot in the race, fine. Keep it going. But like you mentioned, the Dame Lillard picture. You can bring in a lot of guys to help come in and be more of a 1A, 1B than 1 and 2 with the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown scenario. But what were you saying, Gary?
I was just gonna ask you if let's say as a Kings perspective, would you like say we were this is our team, this was the Kings? Would you do it? Would you sell the guy? I know y'all don't think you would. You'd be loyal to the soil.
So you have to talk. So last week we came in here and we talked about how much of a win-win it would be for the Blazers to get rid of Dame. Imagine Blazers, what the Celtics can bring in for Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's stock has never been higher. Never. He's going to be worth all this money coming off of all NBA season.
After today.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So besides for today, his stock has never been higher. So you can bring it in. Now, let's say in a picture perfect world, the Celtics can get Dame in 3. What Celtic fan turns that down? Not a single one, because not only are you getting Dame, but you're also getting another piece to add on to the puzzle. Yeah, are you really going to turn that down?
I think we're talking about Dame.
That's not even a real. I'm sorry. I can't even hear that because that's not even a realistic deal. You really think that the Trailblazers would? Are we talking about for Jaylen Brown or Jason?
Jaylen Brown.
It's a realistic trade.
I don't understand how that would be a real
situation.
For who, Sean? Because to me, Damian Lillard is better than Jaylen Brown, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I think that's a high level person you can get right there.
It's the age thing, though. It's the age thing.
Yeah,
it is the only
and a proven guy.
If it's not a pick, it's Simmons.
But with the third though, it's not going to be Scoot. It's not going to be Wemby. It could be Brandon Miller or whoever. But to me, that just doesn't seem like a realistic deal. But I mean, 2 of you have already said it is, so maybe and I'm wrong.
Oh, wait, Kev, you said JB for Dame and the 3rd pick?
Yeah,
because
that's what he said.
Dame and Jay straight up it's not going to work. Dame got what? 2 more seasons? Jaylen Brown
more seasons.
We just talked about Jaylen Brown on his rookie deal. This is a dude on his rookie deal.
Yeah, we'd probably trade him. It would be JB for Dame straight up. That'd probably be the trade.
Dame's what, 33?
That's what I was going to say. Is if that trade
if we somehow finesse the 3rd out of that trade,
that'd be insane. That would be absolute insanity to me.
I think the Celtics have to give up more.
But you're saying you're agreeing with Sean that Dame's better than Jaylen at this very moment.
Yeah. I know maybe I know what you're saying, Kev. Maybe I can see the GMs taking it because of the timeline period, but just the value of Dame right now. Dame is still in his prime. Don't get it twisted, y'all. He's still in his prime right now. Exactly. So I know he's injured this year, but he's in his prime. He's ready to go right now. So I feel like he has you're talking about the highest value. I think Dame has the highest value right now, like in terms of those 2 players. So I think they're gonna have to give up more. Like the Blazers want more than just Jaylen Brown. They could probably ask for send over what's his name White today, Derek White.
It would be Jaylen Brown and Derek White for Simons and.
You're not taking Simons and Dame. You sound crazy,
dude. Jaylen Brown is good.
But you got to really underplaying how good
Jaylen Brown is, because now Jaylen Brown's not going to be Robin.
Second team.
He gets to step into the Superman, the Batman role. He gets to be the number 1 guy. You're telling me a guy on a rookie deal?
That's just me. I'm saying if it were, that would what the trade would look like. It's not happening.
I think after game 3, you might have hesitated a little more. Well, they already been putting him in trade talks already. They were putting him in every. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, you do deserve to get put in trade talks if Durant's the other guy getting traded for. But you know what I'm saying? You got to be doing those type of trade talks. But I don't know. I think we're thinking the C's have this decision. But I'm not gonna lie. I really think Jaylen Brown's the one that's going to be eyeing other teams, and maybe I don't know. It depends.
This is the last year of his contract, though, right? So it'd be a sign and trade. I think.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, we never seen that. Let's not act like we never seen a superstar push his way out before. Let's not. And I know he has a good agency. And Jaylen Brown is one of the young, smart guys in the league who likes to do his own thing. You know what I'm saying? Likes to do his own thing and do his own way. I'm not saying he doesn't like his teammates. I'm not saying he honestly likes being without Tatum. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I think he likes being a Celtic. Likes being with Tatum. He made it, like you said. Even though Kevin's making a negative, they've been knocking on the door, which is something. It's not like they're knocking on the door and they're like 35. Like, okay, I'm about to be. It's like LeBron. It's like LeBron was here, never got a ring, knocking on the door. Like, all right, then it'll be a big issue. But it's like Vaughn said, 28, knocking on the door. Man, if our Kings were knocking on the door this many times, we would be pretty happy too. I would say keep it going because they're still young. They got a lot to learn, and they lost to a team that has, that's had their number a lot of these years. So I think they should keep it together, Kev. You gotta forget though, this same team Who they got? Who they got? Really got to worry about though in the East. I'm really thinking about it. Really, the Bucks. They already beat them twice before.
It's really
who
the
else?
Bucks. And
they're gonna have to they have to recoup still. The Bucks. Who else? I don't know who else.
Sixers?
No.
The Sixers. They just okay. We don't know what happened in Game 7.
Let's not
If
make
they
it sound like
re-sign James Harden, that's a formidable team.
James
No,
Harden
it's
does
a
not
formidable
re-sign
team,
anything.
but they got their number. We already know they got their
Breaking
number.
news, not
So
going
until they
back.
prove otherwise, I don't know. Until they prove otherwise, I don't know if the coach is gonna fix
Broken by
it.
this guy.
Yeah, but even if they're good enough to break through that door, but not good enough to win a championship, what does that matter?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
So if they're,
Blue thinks
at
it
the
would
door
matter.
of Miami. If they're at the door of the finals, they only got one team to go through. Would you be if they were versus the Nuggets today? Let's say they won today. Where's the Nuggets? Do you think I think it'd be really, really close series. It'd be like Game 7 types of Game 6
Nuggets-
series.
Closer
The Nuggets will be
series.
favored.
Closer
The Nuggets
series.
will be
Closer
favored.
series. Yes.
Everyone wants to continue disrespecting the Miami. I can't stop.
No, not
Everyone,
closer.
everyone picked the Celtics to win that series. No one wants to believe in the Miami Heat. You all picked the Heat, or you all picked the Knicks.
Nobody
excuse me,
picked
right?
the Heat to beat the Bucks.
You picked the
And
Knicks.
first of
No,
all, I picked the Celtics in
Okay,
7, so
but
obviously I
I-
gave the Heat credit.
But here's the
are you
thing:
talking
is
about?
I saw what the Heat did to the Bucks. They got out of the play-in. I saw what they did to the Bucks, and I was like, okay,
Let's not
against the
forget
Knicks.
Giannis
I
is
picked
injured
them
right
against the Knicks. I was the only one, right? Now, same thing against the Celtics. I was the only one who picked the Heat. Why? Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to ruin everything I'm about to say by saying I'm picking the Nuggets to win the NBA Finals. Spoiler alert. But I can't stand how everyone continues to disrespect the Miami Heat after everything we
I don't
continue
think
to
all this
see from here.
podcast is. Maybe Vaughn
And
only.
the thing I hear from you guys sometimes, like, it's a little.
I
it's a
said
little
Knicks in
painted.
7, and then I said the Celtics in 7.
Okay,
I'm
real
letting them
quickly,
get to Game 7 now.
Okay, real quickly, now that I got the mic back, I just want to redirect back to Kevin. I wanted to just say something to Kevin real quickly because when you initially mentioned the trade proposal, Jaevon and I agreed you include the third. That doesn't make it realistic. The 1-for-1, as I put on the ticker, that's a lot more realistic, and you made the age argument. I looked up the ages in between everyone talking. Jaylen Brown is currently 26. Damian Lillard is 32.
31,
That's a
32.
lot more significant than I thought it was. I thought it was more like
Yeah.
27, 30.
Nah,
No, that's a
Dame's like
6-year
30 years,
gap.
32.
No.
So as I see Jaylen Brown on my TV right now, as he's at his post-game presser after losing Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Jaevon once again losing in the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, do I had to. Do any of you guys want to talk about this series at all anymore, or should we start previewing the NBA Finals?
Let's move on. We let Toddy's funeral last long enough.
All right, here we go. The NBA Finals,
20
the
minutes
number
of the
one
funeral.
seed in the Western Conference and in the NBA overall, the Denver Nuggets have been resting for over a week, and they will be taking on the Eastern Conference champion, the Miami Heat, who were the number 8 seed, made it out of the play-in. Amazing, as after they lost in the first play-in game, here they are on their way to the NBA Finals. So I already spoiled my pick. I'm picking the Denver Nuggets, and I love the Miami Heat. But man,
Tyler Hero's coming back though, Sean.
I don't give a fuck. The Nuggets, man. What did I tell you last time, Gary? What's the altitude?
Oh.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna. When new information comes,
5,280 feet.
When new information comes, I do change my thought. I'm gonna give it to you, Sean. This is a player I heard. Dame said it. Dame said it's a big deal that the first quarter he's gassed. So I'm gonna give you a little more credit on the gas part now. I'm not gonna let the altitude actually playing effect in the first quarter now. I'm gonna give you a little more credit on that one.
Nuggets. I'm picking the Denver Nuggets in 5 games. I hate to do it this way, man. But I am the Miami Heat representative on this podcast, at least for the last 2 rounds of the playoffs. But everything I've seen from the Denver Nuggets, I wasn't a Denver Nuggets believer in the playoffs until I saw what they did against the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns are a new team that don't have chemistry, but they made me a believer after what they did to the Phoenix Suns. I've been a believer ever since, and I'm picking, I am still picking the Denver Nuggets to win this series against the Miami Heat, who haven't been resting for a week and had to go to 7 games when they should have wrapped it up in 4, just like Denver. I'm picking the Denver Nuggets to win the series in 5 games. Kevin, where are you at with this series?
So a lot of people have been asking me, once, like we mentioned last Monday, Toddy was shipping off Cancun tickets and, it was all over.
1, 2,
so
3, Cancun. Woohoo!
I had the airline tickets ready.
So everyone was asking me, Kevin, who you taking? And you know what? Against the Bucks, I chose the Bucks. Against the Knicks, I chose the Knicks. Against the Celtics, I chose the Celtics. I'd be damned if I bet against Jimmy Butler again. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am taking the Miami Heat to win the championship in 7 games. You know, the Caleb Morton show.
They're going to win in Denver.
We're taking on the road.
I like it. I like the pick, Gary. I like the pick.
Had some balls.
Joker's sitting at his house, you know, watching the games. They might come out slow first game, 1 or 2. You know, the Celtics came down, lost game 1 and 2, and look what that put them. So I'm definitely going to take the Miami Heat. You know, Jimmy Butler in this playoffs is averaging 29 points, 7 boards, and 6 assists. And Gary's guy, Bam, is averaging 18 points, 9 boards, 4 assists. And they're going to have to go against the dynamic duo. Last week, we talked about them arguably being the best duo in the NBA with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. Jamal is averaging 28 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, along the Joker going with 30 points, 13 boards, 10 assists. It's not going to be easy, but Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler are going to figure it out and put their heads together, and I'm taking the Miami Heat in 7 games.
All right. We'll pass it around. Gary, where are you at with this series? Tell us why. And we'll circle back around for the finals MVP, but tell us the outcome, Gary.
I wanted to say something about the Bam thing, but anyways. All right. So I get right here in my notes. I'm scrolling down looking, and I got the Nuggets in 7. I got the Nuggets in 7. I'm still respecting the Heat, but like I kind of Kev already mentioned, there's been no answer for Jokic for any player in the league right now. No one can guard him, doesn't matter who's on him. So I think he's going to do his thing. I think the key in this series is going to be Jamal Murray in the clutch. He's been a high performer in the clutch right now for this Nuggets team. And I think the bench guys are going to be a wash, as in I think both benches are going to be playing well. They come down to the superstars. And I think, like we said earlier, like Kev just mentioned, I think the top 5 duo that the Denver Nuggets have are just going to be a little bit too much for Jimmy Butler and Bam to handle. Again, I'll repeat my take on Bam one more time. I liked his so far. He's still the guy still alive out of the guys.
You got cooked on social media. It's okay.
They cooked you.
I got cooked. They
So
cooked
hold
me,
on,
but you know what?
Before you finish, Gary, since you have said that, Bam has averaged 12 points.
I know. He's been doing
6 rebounds and 2 assists. It has been downhill.
But give him credit.
Quick.
He's back. His team is
Give
keep
Jimmy
on
credit.
pushing. They going to the finals,
you can't
baby.
Escape
You got the finals cap on.
You can't escape this.
I can't. Because you know what? I said in the same thing, take, and I'm going to stand by that. I won't say that. I never said he was a better player. I never said that I'm going to take him in the long run or anything like that in this career. I was talking about this playoff series. I'm going to stand by. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm right. I'm right. I don't really care. I'm going to stand on simple the fact that he's been a dog all series, and he's been keep being a dog, and I love his energy and love his hustle. So keep doing your thing, Bam. You're going to have the same Jokic. I guarantee Jokic will put the same number he put on AD. And if he doesn't, then we're going to be scratching our heads. So I got the Nuggets in 7, but like I said, the Heat and how much they're going to be tough. I think, the crazy part, they're going to be playing in 2-3 days. It might be tied. I don't know how that game 1's going to go. It's always a fill-out game. I don't know if it's going to be rust.
5,280 feet.
Yeah, it was going to be rust or, but out of every team in the league that actually can handle that is the most conditioning team in the league, which is the Miami Heat, which every other player, every other coach says the Miami Heat are the most well-conditioned team. So I don't know how that's going to be too much affecting in this one, Shaun. But again, according to Dame, it has a big impact. So I would say I got the Nuggets in 7. I respect the Heat. I think they're going to try hard. I think they're going to get very to the end. They're going to push this Denver team just because of coaching and the willpower. But at the end of the day, I think it's about time that the Denver Nuggets get their first NBA championship ring. They've been knocking on the door. They got 2 superstars in the making. And, yeah, I think they also got an all-time great and Nikola Jokic, 2-time MVP already. So I got the Nuggets in 7.
Jaevon, you're the last person that we have not heard from. Tell us your NBA Finals pick. Now it will be your unbiased NBA Finals pick.
1 second. We'll let Vaughn go. I got to shout out Vaughn for the hilarious. Forever I'll remember this. I don't think y'all remember. The funniest thing was after they won game 4 or 5, I forgot what it was, 6, he put the Undertaker come back to life. And I was dead. Perfect timing, Vaughn. Perfect timing. I was like, perfect timing. I kept thinking, now that's a good one right there. That's a good meme you threw in there. We need a shout out, because Vaughn got some good memes he be throwing out. So perfect timing.
The group chat, legendary. That's all we'll say. Nah, man. I got the Nuggets in 5 games. Nikola Jokic is probably the best player in the world right now. I said a while ago that Steph Curry was the best player in the world. That aged like milk. I wouldn't say like milk, but it was just that how quickly it turned around. It was after they beat the Kings. He had 50, and then this, that, and the third, and then they went on to lose to the Lakers. Nikola Jokic has just been. I saw Paul Pierce say, I think it was on KG's podcast. He was saying, Jokic, there's the B.
That was the meme he sent.
Paul Pierce said that Nikola Jokic, you can't let him rebound and pass because he's gonna get his buckets. But if you let him rebound and pass the ball, if he's getting 10 assists, 12 rebounds, they're gonna win every time. Usually when Nikola Jokic has triple doubles, it usually translates to win. Jamal Murray has been playing like the best point guard in the league. I'm pretty sure he averaged 30 this last against the Lakers. I'm pretty sure he averaged 30.
Pretty close.
You could argue that he could have been the Western Conference MVP, just on how well that he's been playing. Just the way that their team as a whole has been playing now. I have on Shaun and Vaughn. I've been the one to call out Michael Porter Jr. for the big contract that he got, the extension. I think it was like $100 and some million. He was a guy that really couldn't stay on the court. He had back issues, but he's been a guy that's been he's been grabbing a lot of rebounds for them. He's been, he's a guy that can he can hit 5 threes in a row. He can get hot really quick. KCP, the Lakers are probably kicking themselves for trading Russell Westbrook to DC, and then KCP was a part of that trade, and they ended up getting Russell Westbrook, and then they ended up trading Russell Westbrook. So KCP is a guy that can go for 21, give you 20 points a game. Bruce Brown is a guy, I guess, that can give you 15 off the bench. I think their team is just very well-rounded, and they have a lot of guys that can consistently score. Their 3-and-D guys are, borderline scorers that can get you 20. So, and Jokic is in the middle, the centerpiece of all of that, and he's a guy that, he wasn't – all the guys that won 3 MVPs were like Hall of Famers. Well, he's about to be injured. He's about to be like in one of those conversations of one of the best players ever. You could argue he's probably the best Nugget ever right now.
But would you retire Carmelo 15
Yeah.
or Jokic?
Melo's had
15?
that conversation last week.
And I love Melo. But Jokic obviously has 2 MVPs already, so I mean it's just like damn.
Yeah, as I said that extremely sarcastically. Sorry, Melo.
I mean,
no.
Jamal.
Sure, retire
I mean,
15.
and Jamal Murray's a guy who could for sure definitely win the Finals MVP. Just the way that he played. If he plays like that in the finals, he definitely has a chance to win Finals MVP. But obviously, Jokic is a guy, poster boy, 2-time MVP. This, that, and the third. They're probably not going to win without him. But I just think it's going to be a lot for the Heat to handle. They consistently make their threes. I'll say that. The Celtics were way too spotty this entire series. They'll give you one game where they hit 60%, and then you get tonight, like 20%. You're not getting that from the Nuggets. The Nuggets are going to consistently shoot above like 30% from three. The 30, 35% in the 40s. You're going to get that all day long. The coaching matchup is I think it's dead even. I think Michael Malone is one of the top coaches in this league. Eric Spoelstra is probably going to be a Hall of Fame coach. It's going to be a coaching clinic in this finals for sure. I think you're going to see a lot of baseline side out of bounds, fresh out of the timeout plays that are going to be drawn up by these guys, and it's a lot. It's going to be a lot. Kings are still kicking themselves, but they got their own mic now. But Michael Malone is a guy that a lot of people kind of overlook as far as when you look at coaches in the NBA. I think he's one of the best coaches in the league. Obviously, they got to the NBA Finals this year, but I just think the Nuggets are just too. Hemi Butler, he just did it to my Celtics. I mean, he's a guy that's just been on a tear. Kawhi, like we've said, a Kawhi-like run when Kawhi was a rental for the Toronto Raptors and they won the championship. It's getting there. It's giving all of those type of vibes. And
but you got Nuggets in 5.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think I think this team is way too good. They swept LeBron. So I mean,
Let's not act like the game was like a 7-point margin.
Yeah, so
Every game.
I got a quick
In
fun
total, I
fact
think
for
it's like
everyone.
7 or 8.
So
Yeah, Nuggets
fun fact via StatMuse, Nikola Jokic hasn't lost against the Heat since the bubble. Interesting fact. Oh, so it's been a while. So I mean, Jaevon and I giving the Heat one game, that's not crazy. Let's
forgot
Finals
there's a little
MVP,
bit
I'm
bad
gonna go
blood
off
too,
limb.
I think, in Miami
I'm gonna say
for
Jamal
Jokic.
Murray.
Jamal Murray, that's a hot
I'm
take.
gonna say Jamal Murray Finals MVP.
Okay, and
Jokic.
so and Gary says Jokic. I just want to say real quickly to respond to Gary from earlier. The reason why I applauded Kevin's pick of the Heat winning the NBA Finals is I'm just glad that someone was standing on Heat Island because I abandoned them. I was glad that someone was on Heat Island.
He got off the island.
I got off the island. I apologize, Heat Island. Kevin, who are you picking to win Finals MVP and why?
It's got to be Hemi. You know, Caleb Martin will have a say in
Javon said
Caleb
Caleb Martin
Martin
should have
will
won
have
Eastern
a say
Conference
in that.
Finals.
I'm trying to look and see what
Come
the
on
odds are
now,
for
yeah.
Finals.
I wouldn't be
MVP.
surprised, but yeah, if I put my money down today,
Yeah,
you know,
you
like
would.
I mentioned, for him to average 29.7 boards and 6 assists in this playoff run, you know, people are saying this is arguably, you know, a Dirk run. We're comparing it to Kawhi, and there's the only way to top it off with a Finals MVP. So I'm taking Jimmy Butler.
All right, and I am going to go with Nikola Jokic as well, Gary. I mean, I just think that the captain is steering the ship, and if they win it, it's going to be his. What do you think, Gary?
No, I was just gonna say, I did pick the Nuggets in 7, but I don't think the coaching advantage is as close as Vaughn thinks it is. Just because, let's not forget, this Eric Spoelstra team. Eric Spoelstra has been to the finals already multiple times with LeBron and also with Jimmy Butler himself. And Jimmy Butler has been to NBA finals, and this squad has been tasted NBA finals before. So, and just Kevin's defense more on his side that. This is actually going to be, I think, a very close matchup. And I know the whole Lakers and Celtics would have been a ratings spectacular and so great for the NBA, but I feel like this is going to be a great finals to watch. And yeah, it's kind of like that. I guess you could say that Kawhi Leonard type or Dirk Nowitzki type run where actually Dirk beat Kobe, LeBron, and Durant on the run. And just like, hey, Jokic just beat LeBron and KD on that run. Let's see if you can knock down Jimmy Butler. So I think it's going to be a close one, guys. I hope you two are wrong up there. 5. That'll be too quick of a finals. Let's get a couple more games for the NBA to go. It's good for the pod.
Yeah.
I don't see the odds for Finals MVP yet. Probably not even out yet.
We shall see. Javon and I each having ending in 5, and I hope that we're wrong as well, just because I enjoy longer finals, but that's my pick. I'm sticking with it. You guys are all tuned into episode number 31 of Stats Over Politics. Make sure to give us a like on YouTube. Helps us a lot. Continue to grow. If you enjoy the show, hit subscribe to get notifications when we go live, just in case if there's an episode like tonight where we go live right after a game and we're not live right at 7 o'clock Pacific time. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Stats Over Politics and on Twitter at Stats or Politics. You can subscribe, rate, and review on all podcast platforms. And if you're enjoying the show, give us 5 stars. We really appreciate it. As you guys are all tuned into episode number 31 of Stats Over Politics, I'm your host, Sean Holko, alongside my guys, Javon Toddy, Kevin Dent, Gary Singh. Now, guys, let's move on into... I mean, I don't really want to talk about this, but it's newsworthy. Kevin, this is your boy. We'll start with you, then we'll pass it over to Gary as well. But apparently, while we were recording last week's episode, right after the Western Conference Finals, LeBron James dropped a little bit of a nugget, or he just wouldn't really answer questions, making the media think that, he might retire. I mean, Melo just retired the same day. LeBron might. He's the only last standing. I mean, I'm sorry. As you guys can tell from the tone of my voice, I just don't enjoy this because I think it was unnecessary, and LeBron was just trying to take attention away from the Nuggets right after they just swept his ass.
He had a torn ligament in his foot, Sean.
To me, I feel like
how
this
mean
is
Kevin
unnecessary.
Guys.
Well, I feel like this discussion we're gonna have right now is unnecessary, but I also understand how it is necessary in some facets and how people enjoy listening to it as well. I mean, that's me. And so, anyways,
apparently. Go ahead, Sean.
Let me rephrase that for you. It says LeBron apparently mulls retirement after last Monday. after loss to Nuggets. I could update that a little bit to read better. Anyways, Kevin, you get the point. What are your thoughts on this situation?
Like Toddy mentioned, he was playing on the torn foot. He had the torn ligament in his foot, so we're going to go ahead and address that swept comment that he made earlier. But, I don't think LeBron's leaving. He's made it known on multiple podcasts, on multiple platforms that he wants to play with Bronny. Everyone's throwing the idea of him possibly playing with Bryce as well. So I definitely don't think retirement is around the corner. I think this was more of, Le GM doing his thing, and saying, I'm in year 20. I can't put up these numbers. We talked about it last week, for him to go out and put up 30-something in the first half and 9 in the second.
How much you averaged in that Western Conference final, Kev?
28.
Yeah, it was 28, okay.
28. So, he's still doing his thing.
Kev was ready with it.
Hey, man, that's my guy. We was talking about it all the time, but that's my guy. But, this is just a thing to, Rob Pelinka, he did a great job, made a lot of good moves to come in, for LeBron, against the LeBron sake, they were the best team in the West the second half of the season. So running it back with this team wouldn't be bad, but we just can't trust Anthony Davis, for him to go into a game 4 and have 4 points in the first half when LeBron has 31 in the first half. It's like, the roles are supposed to be reversed. By this time in LeBron's career, we're supposed to be seeing him take that back step to AD, and it's just not happening. And I think we're just coming into the point with LeBron's career, like with Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers, after every last game, they're going to ask the question, are you going to retire? You've been here so long. We've seen greatness prolonged for so long. We're just at the point in his career where every offseason, this is going to be a talking point. All the talking heads are going to talk about it because, like we were saying, we've seen greatness for 20 years. And
he's damn near 40.
That's what I'm saying. He's 40 years old.
But he didn't have to feed into it like he did, though. He's like I don't know. I'm going to think about it.
He had to. He had to put the Lakers on notice. It's either you make some
shit
work.
And that is what he did, yeah.
Or it's over.
I mean, Gary, you're our other LeBron advocate, whatever you guys want to call yourself in the LeBron fan club. I mean, I'm a LeBron fan, but you guys take it to another level in terms of your fandom of LeBron James. So you guys are the LeBron advocates on this podcast. The LeBron experts, apparently.
The LeBron insiders.
The insiders. There you go. So, Gary, you are our insider on this podcast. So, what are your thoughts on this LeBron James situation?
Like I wrote down here, to be honest with my notes, I just think, like Kev said, I think for a second, as a natural human being, coming so close and getting swept in game 4, year 20, just all those things after a post-game interview. Like Kev, I think more he actually they usually do ask him about it. I feel like he really didn't ask his future, and he kind of gave it to the media like I'm mulling over. But I think it was genuine at the moment of him actually thinking like, how long do I have to do this? Like, let's be honest, guys. What is LeBron really playing? He's not playing for winning anything. Like legacy's already set, done deal. You know what I'm saying? You're just playing to add more. But I think if you like he takes it exactly, playing for that 5th ring. So like I said here, I feel like he came for a little bit second, like a natural human reaction, thought about it. And also at the same time, I think he was also playing like Kevin said, thought about it and like, hold on, let me actually stab this turkey, whatever you want to say, one more time and talk about, let's try to get, let's try to make sure, let's put some pressure up top here to make sure, hey guys, I'm so close. I got to Western Conference Finals after we did a mid-season trade, like Kev said, on a bum ankle. Took all of us, a close. I know it's a sweep, but it was a close sweep, as in every game was close. They weren't getting slaughtered in any games here. So I feel like
you said, a sweep is a sweep, man.
True, straight up. You lose, you lose. But again, just like the Celtics, you lose in 6, you lose in 7, you lose in 4. It don't matter. You still lose the series. But like I said, he's still knocking on the door. Close, just need a couple more things. So I feel like he's putting the pressure on this team. At the same time, he had a natural human reaction just to think about it, like, do I want to keep doing this? At the same time, you also got to know that I think LeBron has 2 years left on his deal, so I thought he's going to honor that. Just as an NBA player, I feel like he doesn't want to probably leave the Lakers high and dry.
$50 million. $50 million.
I mean, every dime matters to LeBron like anyone else, but I don't think $50 million is going to hurt him in the long run. Obviously, his goal is to buy a team, so stacking up all the bread he can will be great for him, obviously. But also, I think the main thing is that we're kind of forgetting here is that, hey, he's been saying he wanted to play with Bronny. We all know Bronny just chose USC, and he's around the corner if everything goes smooth and right in his career and his trajectory. So I find LeBron, like Shaun said, you're trying to be more of like negative about it, saying, you're trying to finesse. I really think he had genuine emotion about maybe retiring, maybe contemplating it. But as everyone in the media knows, LeBron just looks like he got way too much left in that body. Like Kevin said, averaged 28 in that this run. And like he's been doing great all year, was averaging 30 at one point. So I feel as long as he gets his health together gets his mind right, I think he's going to be able to buckle up and get ready. But like Kev said, I think every year LeBron's going to be asked this question or putting it out there like, hey, guys, I'm going to be thinking about it here. Like, how long do you want me to keep going here? God damn, I'm already big bodying these guys at year 20. How many years do you want me to keep big bodying them down the paint for?
So, Jaevon, what do you think about this LeBron situation?
I don't think LeBron's gonna retire. I think he genuinely was, like when he was asked about it, I mean, shit, he's 39. How is he gonna
38? I think he's 38.
He'll be 39 going into next season.
So I mean, I think he's the oldest player to have 40 points in a playoff game, like ever. So I mean, usually guys at this age, they're not able to carry their team to a Western Conference.
They're not even in the league
on a torn foot. So I mean, LeBron is still good. I mean, he's not trying to be the guy that's carrying the team. He needs a guy that's going to be able to consistently give them 25, 20 to 28 points a night and just be that guy like, hey, I'm here if you need me. Like, I can still give you this, but I'm going to do it in spurts. And we kind of saw from just from this year, he's not playing, those 78, 79 games every year. He's not going to be doing that.
As he shouldn't.
He's playing 55, 60. If you want to make them all NBA teams, next year you got to play 65 games. But, I mean, as far as – I think Kyrie's coming. This year, this offseason. I think he has to be, right? I mean, he tried to force his way. He tried to force his way to L.A. this last year, and LeBron's tweeted, maybe it's me. That was me today. The Celtics lost the game, so maybe it's me. I think it has to be like, AD's so off and on, but everybody's saying, oh, Kyrie, he's off season. He just, he does it. Bro, just like when he went to Dallas, he was hooping. He was hooping when he was at Dallas. It's just, I mean, it didn't work out with Luka. They tried. And,
they dropped from 8 to last.
I thought that they were going to be, I mean, it's hard to make a championship team post when there's 25 games left in the season. It's hard to kind of just mesh everything together. I feel like if they would have had a full season together, they probably would have been a whole lot better. But I think Kyrie's coming. I think he's expensive. I think he's a max guy. I mean, the reliability, everybody's going to say, oh, he's not going to be able to play and all this off the court and blah, blah, blah. Kyrie's going to go there. He's going to hoop. He's going to average 26. He's going to be an all-star. He's going to do this, that, and the third. And that's what's going to happen.
Kev, you want Kyrie if we have to give up Depth?
Okay, ain't no
look at that. Look at that. I was about to say, do you hear how every time Gary always says we when he's referring to the Lakers? Kevin
okay, when I'm referring to LeBron, bro, I'm referring to LeBron. That's all I'm referring. Yeah, LeBron. Do you think LeBron need to give up depth to get Kyrie, or does he keep his depth? LeBron.
As long as they can keep AR-15 for the listeners that don't know Austin Reeves, as long as they keep Austin Reeves, I think everyone else can go. Austin Reeves has to stay. At some point, you have to. At some point, you can't continue to go all in. You have to have something to look forward to, and Austin Reeves is what the Lakers can look forward to.
No, because they can't keep Austin Reeves and Rui and D'Lo. So I mean, I think D'Lo's gone.
No, yeah. I think D'Lo.
Austin Reeves is like on a whole other tier than those guys.
Yeah,
Rui's right under him. Rui can't.
Yeah, I wasn't. If they can just somehow make the cap work to flip out Kyrie and Russell, I think it would be perfect. And they don't make AD to have the more or less pressure and be the great season, great defensive and inconsistent guy.
I think if their lineup is able to be Kyrie, Kyrie, Austin Reeves, LeBron,
AD,
and then like a big, I think you're solid. They go in the finals.
Because you guys can't forget, Le GM is a real thing. People are gonna want to come play with Bron. So you have guys that are free agents that want that big bag. This is a rental year. I go play with LeBron for one season and catapult myself. The perfect example is Malik Monk. People thought Malik Monk was wash goods before LA. He went to LA, did his thing, got him a good deal.
But Kev, usually the people that come to LeBron are usually the older fellas and the vets. But I like hoping Kev is right that they can bring more young guys to the team, and the young guys are what's going to keep this team like we've seen this year. They got to insert infusion of young guys at the trade deadline, and that kept them afloat. And especially on defense for LeBron and them the whole team. So I feel like just not like I know LeBron always attracts players, but I feel like obviously about those vets guys, and back in the day they could do that because LeBron was in his prime. So I feel like if they're going to bring people hopping on board for the Laker bandwagon, LeBron bandwagon to get a ring, whatever you want to say, to help them get a chip, I feel like they got to make sure they get some young guy, more on the younger side. Really, I think it's going to really help them out. Even though LeBron doesn't like playing with too many young guys, to be honest. But
there was also a report that Ice Tray could be on his way to LA too. So I'm not sure if there's any validity to that, but I think
doesn't seem legit to me.
I feel like
until the big dogs call it out.
No, there was a report out there, but I think it was Mark Stein that reported it. I think Mark Stein reported it.
I love Mark Stein. That's not a big dog. Sorry, man. Not a big dog no more.
You fucked up, Sean.
But I think Kyrie to LA is more realistic than a trade out to LA, in my opinion.
Well, Kyrie is signed straight up. So
before we move on, Gary talked about young talent. Los Angeles Lakers, pick 17. Imani Bates.
Ooh, I like that.
How do they have 17? Whose pick is that?
They have the pick with the Pelicans, but it's top whatever protected it because they ended up being a lot better. Because at the beginning of the season, they were going to get their first round pick, but because it was top whatever protected, they fell out of it. So now they keep
the Lakers. Wait,
Kings getting the money.
I'm so confused because didn't the Lakers give up their first round picks? Because they got,
I think it was swapped the best. I think it's swapped best with. The Pelicans were actually ended up being worse than the Lakers because all season it was talking about how the Pelicans were going to get win because they were going to have the Lakers pick because the Lakers turned it around. They get to keep the worst of the picks.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was confused. Makes sense.
20 off the bench.
Never know.
I was about to say because I know the Kings are 24th, so I was like the Lakers should be like 27, 28. How does
that Lotto still, Kevin?
Nah, 14's Lotto.
14
yeah,
Lotto.
No, yeah, we out of there. Hey, first year we're not in the Lotto being the Kings. I know 7. You guys were talking about 17, but hey,
I feel like he's gonna go like top. I think he's gonna go Lotto. I think
Imani.
I think
nah,
it's okay. It's okay. The Kings will get Chris Murray at 24.
Jesus,
that'd be nice.
Hell no.
Let's keep it moving real quick, Kevin. Kevin, we will revisit that as we get into summertime and all there is baseball.
Kev?
Absolutely not. That was an Iowa thing.
Okay. We'll revisit that over the summer. We got to keep it moving because I did add to the agenda about the NBA head coach hirings. We have had 2 in the last couple of days as the Philadelphia 76ers, they hired former Raptors coach Nick Nurse today, and the Milwaukee Bucks, they hired Toronto assistant Adrian Griffin. I'll be honest, I'm not up on my assistant coaches. I did not know who Adrian Griffin was until he just got hired. Okay, thank you, Jaevon. I'm glad I'm not alone. I mean, Kevin, did you really know who Adrian Griffin is? Come on, factor cap is next, but you better not be capping this.
I was referring to Toddy's comment saying, "Damn, I didn't know he was black." So I was saying, like, yeah, I doubled down on Toddy not knowing who he was.
I'm telling you, that group chat is legendary. I'm telling you.
When I was listening to the coaches that got hired, I thought Toddy just said that. I didn't know who he was either, and I didn't hear that part. So okay, that makes much more sense.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jaevon. You were going to say something?
Yeah, Adrian Griffin. I guess Giannis vouched for him or something like that. So I guess a whole bunch of people, he's well liked in the locker room. So I mean, when one of the best players in the world said, "I want that guy," you're probably going to get the job. So another black head coach in the NBA, I'm all for it for sure. But
yeah, for sure. And then what about the white guy, Nick Nurse?
I think Nick Nurse is like a really good coach. I think it's kind of soured over. We kind of talked about it a little bit last podcast. Championship head coaches getting fired, and it's kind of just like, well, I don't know about that one. But I think just his time in Toronto kind of just soured over, and just time for a fresh start. He hasn't really had last time he had a superstar, he won a title. So, well, not saying that that's going to happen now, but I mean, the last time he had a superstar caliber player, they won the championship.
Gary, what do you think about these head coach hirings?
I think it's kind of crazy that Nick Nurse is going to the Sixers after the Kawhi shot. You know, all those fans are probably a little mixed emotions about mixed emotions on that guy coming to town.
I didn't even think about that. That's good.
Yeah, so that's pretty crazy. But hey, that I think they hired a great coach. Nick Nurse has a great name around the league. He's already won a championship with that quadrilateral team, like I mentioned. So I feel like he's a guy that can. I think at the end of the day, I don't think Doc Rivers deserved to get fired, even though he did. I still feel like that he deserved to be there. So I don't really blame the coaching in the situation. I think at the end of the day, it's going to have for them to, get tighten up the screws. That's it. They were a game 7 away, and like that 5-6 minute collapse they had against the Celtics is what sealed the deal for them. So they're 5-6 minutes away to get him a little better and just being a little smarter and just almost there. So I feel like Nick Nurse, they feel like can get him over that hump, and he's a smart guy too. So I feel like he's going to help them get better than last year. I think I don't know how the Raptors always played hard versus everyone. So I feel like he's going to bring that same mentality to Sixers, which would be really good. And I'm searching up that guy right now. I did not know who Adrian Gifford was too, but congratulations to him. Obviously being on many. I see it right here. His career history. He's been on so many different teams, especially coaching wise. The last as a coach, he's been coaching since 2008 and went to play. It was assistant coach in Milwaukee as well, in Chicago, Orlando, and OKC. So those are obviously been some pretty good franchises the last few years, especially the years that he was with them. He was on Chicago during like the Bulls years. He was basically, he was on Orlando when they were actually making the playoffs to Dwight, and he was also on the OKC team when Durant and them were still there. Actually Westbrook was during that in 16-18. So I feel like he's been around the league and gets the opportunity. So shout out to him for getting an opportunity to be with a pretty good team. So hopefully he can make the best of it.
Kevin, we just saw the Eastern Conference Finals between the Heat and the Celtics. These are the other two teams that we expect to be at the top of the Eastern Conference. So what do you think about these two moves?
I love the Nick Nurse move. A lot of people give him a lot of shit, but unfortunately, he came up in the LeBron era, playing in Toronto. Every year, you got to go through 2-3. He's going to come into town. He's going to hit a 1-foot game winner. Every year, it's going to come down to LeBron James and DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry. Yeah, and they just couldn't get over the hump. So, for his playoff record to be 25-16 and overall 227-163, he's a hell of a coach. He's an NBA champion. He has a coach of the year. So this is a great fit, for the Sixers. I know how Gary mentioned it's kind of weird how, how it played in the other roles when he beat them to go to the finals and win the finals. So it's kind of funny how it all played out. But I think Nick Nurse is the perfect coach to come into this situation. We talked about earlier. We don't really know what James Harden's looking like. And we saw Doc Rivers really bring out the best in Joel Embiid. So now just to have that kind of blueprint, I feel like they can just double down on Joel Embiid. Tyrese Maxey's due for a payday. So even if James Harden does leave, to say that you have Tyrese Maxey as a plan B is probably a hell of a plan B. A lot of teams will be, if for us to lose our max player and have a young up-and-coming player like Maxey, I think that's not a bad loss. So I think the Philadelphia 76ers have made a right pick, and they're just, kind of have to figure it out. But like we mentioned, they've been right there for so long, so they have the pieces. So we just got to see if Nick Nurse can put them together.
It'll be interesting, and I think that there's still jobs out there. I mean, the Suns are still out there, and there's
according
a couple other
that
jobs.
Nick Nurse passed on that. That's what they said.
Passed on the Suns is crazy.
He passed on the Suns to be a coach for the Sixers. So, and shout out to again Adrian Gifford. He was also a player in the league, obviously. So that's pretty cool too. So also being officially higher. So yeah,
good for him. That is pretty exciting as well. And so I know you guys hear that music. It's time for Fact or Cap with Kevin. So I'll just pass it off. Kevin, take it.
Yes, sir. For everyone listening, this is the week 2 Fact or Cap. So we're gonna come out with
Fact or Cap in the football season. It's gonna be so fun.
Oh, it's gonna be hot. I already got some ready. In the drafts. But let's move on to Fact or Cap. So the first one of the day is Nikola Jokic, the best player in the NBA. Fact or Cap?
And so I just for all of our audio listeners as well, people can see it on the YouTube stream. I reworked it a little bit, Kevin, just to be a statement to say Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA. Fact or Cap? So, Gary, you can take that one first.
I'll say at the moment he is the best player in the league. So fact, he is the best player. I think he has I think like we talked about before, I think it's like a neck in every year neck race. Curry, I think, is in it. I think Giannis is in it. I think Durant is in it still. So those are all players top of my head, and Embiid. So even though my God, I'm Luka right now. So those top players, I think they're all going to be battling for the next couple years. But right now, the Joker got the crown.
Jaevon, what do you think? Is that fact or cap?
It's a fact. I think Shaun said this, but when we were first, after the first round, I think Shaun was like, yeah, Jokic is the best player. I was like, Embiid's pretty good. Steph's pretty good. LeBron's pretty good. So Shaun was ahead of the trend on this one. I'm going to definitely go with fact. Jokic is the best player in the NBA. Could win finals MVP, but if I wanted to put my money on it, I'd do Jamal Murray just for a little bit more money.
I was on the Giannis train for a long time, I really was, but it's fact. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA. He does everything. He does everything to me. Kevin, answer your own question. Fact or cap?
Hate to be that guy, fellas, but if I had a hat, I throw it on my hat. I am calling cap. You guys are forgetting the man, the myth, the legend, Giannis Antetokounmpo, coming off of a 32 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 65% from true shooting. Giannis also brings it on the defensive end. If the Joker was a defender, it would be a hands down debate. But for Giannis to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year, I think the crown still lands there, man. I put him over the Joker based off of the finals run. He was able to put up 55 closeout game. He was able to get him to the promised land. Now, if the Joker is able to push that line and get that finals ring, then it could be a debate. But as of today, May 29th, I'm taking Giannis.
They got him out of there in 5 games.
But
that's neither here nor there.
Fact or cap, we are moving on. With the Miami Heat making a finals run, should Tyler Hero now be traded?
Jaevon, go ahead.
I'll say cap. I still think he's valuable to the team. I get that they got to the finals without him, but he is making a lot of money. Wow. I'm making the argument for cap, to be honest. I'll say cap. They made a finals run without him. Caleb Martin's he's put on his superhero cape and hey, how much money they gave you? 145? I can't get none of that. I just averaged this in the finals or Eastern Conference Finals. Gabe Vincent's out here trying to get a bag. I mean, he's like, hey, Heat culture, right? They get undrafted players and guys that are about to be out of the league. I guess J. Cole had something to do with getting. I saw Mark Jones tweet that if it weren't for J. Cole getting on the phone with Caron Butler, Caleb Martin wouldn't even be in Miami. So I mean, I'll say fact.
Shout out Caron Butler.
Yeah, I'll say fact just because of he's making a bunch of money, and he was. The question is, where does he get traded to? I mean, I think you get a lot for Tyler Hero. He's a solid 6-man. I think he's like what Jordan. He's in that same he has the same contract as Jordan Poole. So I think that you could get a lot of production from Tyler Hero. He's a guy that's been we've seen ever since the bubble kind of make his way into the league. But I mean, the Heat are proving that they could do it without him. Why not?
All right, Gary, what do you think?
I'm not reading the script. If I say cap, I don't want him traded, correct?
Yeah, it's with the Heat making the NBA Finals.
He's not getting traded, yes.
Yeah.
Fact, cap is not. He's not getting traded, right? Mm-hmm. Make sure I'm reading that correctly.
Yeah.
All right.
The prompt is basically saying he should be traded.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sorry. We're still tweaking this, guys, just to let you guys know. And I did not see this beforehand, so it's off the top of the dome. So Cap, I feel like they should keep him, Kev. I don't feel like they should trade him. I think the last thing Miami need to do is give him away talent at the moment. I feel like they need to be in the business of still gaining talent, even though they're still in the finals. I feel like everyone could see that if they even had one or two more extra pieces in this team, it would be a lot more easier for Jimmy Butler not to do Demi heroics. So I feel they should be keeping their young guys. I feel like Tyler Hero has proven a lot when he is on the court. He does a lot. I know he's kept his ups and downs, but then again, he's still a young fellow. I think a great comparison, I think Vaughn said, was Jordan Poole in terms of just, has a spurt of scoring, still need to work on defense, but a great asset to a team and can maybe be a third option, even a great fourth option on a championship level team. So I feel like they should keep him. I feel like he's a great asset, especially in a shooting league, and him being one of the best shooters in the league.
I'm going to say Cap as well. I don't think that the Heat should trade Tyler Hero just because I think that he's a good contributor. I mean, I think it's been pretty well covered so far, but I say it's Cap. Kevin, what do you think?
Man, if I had a cap, I would throw it at the window because I'm saying this is a fact. I think Tyler Hero's out of here. Miami Heat they have all their first round picks. So you're telling me we can move Tyler Hero and we have these first? We have the rebirth of Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent. You can do all
this.
Let's
just trade him now.
And you can, just let me know what y'all think about this. We got Jimmy Butler. We got Bam Adebayo. We got Dame Lillard.
I know you're going to say Dame.
Wow.
Kev's trading everybody. He wants his offseason
Tyler Hero?
Trade everybody.
Tyler Hero some first for Dame?
But that would be clean. I would love to see a Dame Lillard have a chance and an opportunity.
Hey, man, I definitely think they can get. It's a win-win for both teams.
He built for the finals, Vaughn.
Hey, they got here without him. Why keep him? But for this next one, I gotta go to Gary first. This is my guy. So, Vegas says the Steelers are projected to win 8.5 games. So hold on, let's go through the schedule. Week 1, Steelers. Week 2, Browns. Week 3, Raiders.
You said
week 4, Texans.
You said week 1. Who? You said they got the Steelers.
Steelers. He said Steelers, but I know you don't. I know what he meant.
You gotta let me finish. All right. So week 1, we got the Niners. Week 2, we have the Browns. Week 3, the Raiders. Week 4, Texans. Week 5, Ravens. Week 6, Rams. Week 7, Jags. Then we have the Titans, Packers, Browns, Bengals, Cardinals, Pats, Colts, Bengals, and Steelers, and then we finish off with the Ravens.
I'm not even gonna lie.
And they get over 8.5.
I was hearing hold on.
Whole bunch of dubs. Don't lie. You said a whole bunch of W's. Don't cap.
Gary, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say again. Vegas has the Steelers projected to win 8 point. It's fact. You should take that higher. You should go higher. You should take the over on this one. Take the over for sure on this one. I'm just gonna say I know. I'm not gonna lie. We are in a division with Joe Shiesty and Lamar Jackson is back. So I am still nervous about those two. I have a healthy level of fear for those two great quarterbacks, even though I hate the teams they play for. I'm not going to lie. I do love watching them play. Just hate them when they play my team. But I feel like we're going to, when FCO season comes around, I will pick my team to make a wild card appearance. And I think we're going to have to get at least 8 wins for that one. So I'm going to say fact, take the Steelers over. And Vaughn, that better be in your segment too, because if you want some real money, bet us. I know that people are probably not betting us. So
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm looking at the schedule and I'm like,
a lot of wins.
I see Texans, I see the Colts, I see the Packers with no Aaron Rodgers, the Cardinals, Patriots.
Over 500, and you know my guy Mike Tomlin always does. No matter what.
I'm gonna go with fact. I think that they win at least 9. They like 9-8 is kind of up their alley. I like that, but the Browns. There's those iffy like the Rams. I think y'all could beat the Rams. There's those toss-up games are like the Jags, the Browns, Seahawks. That's that can go either way game. You got the Ravens.
Can you pick it? Year 2, baby, full year.
But you guys play like all your division games. Like you guys play.
He's been doing his media run.
You guys play the Bengals stuff. You guys almost beat you guys beat the Bengals. What was it, week 1? That crazy game that when Mitch had like to spit out.
Singing the music for me, Vaughn. Thank you.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'll put some money on that. Like because I am a gambling man here. Can't wait till football season comes because soon as this basketball season is over, we're in a drought. We're in a drought. We're betting summer league games, and we're waiting until the football season starts. But I'm gonna go with over. I like the over on that. I see a lot of winnable games from it. It looks
Factual.
like Shaun is in disbelief right now. So
nah, he wants to hate because he sees too much Steelers love right now. So he wants to hate. I know he does. Go ahead, Shaun.
Week 1, they're gonna lose, but I mean, as far as the over on wins, I'm definitely gonna take over.
That bet will come week 1. I don't want to give out that bet just yet.
I can't wait.
Hold the front door. We have 4 months to build, 3 months to build up to this game, and you want to wait until the week of the game to make a bet?
We're gonna be like
For the
Mike.
pod.
Why would
For
you
the
do
pod.
that?
For
You
the
are
pod.
robbing.
The
You are
content.
robbing our listeners of so much great content. Over
We
the
got a
next
lot of
3
weeks, like
months.
Vaughn said, to fill up. Let's wait on that airtime here. Hold on, bro.
Let's wait till
Shit.
training camp, Sean, at least.
No, man. You always
When
tell
the
me,
NBA
Mr. Producer,
When
hold
the
on.
NBA finals, when the NBA finals and the NBA draft and NBA free agency is over, and we're in the middle of July, I'm coming for you for that bet.
Straight
I'm
up.
just telling you right
Come.
now.
I'm
All
betting
right,
the whole
so-
rent money.
Factor cap, Vegas has the Steelers projected to win 8.5 games, and they'll go over that. I mean, Mike Tomlin's the coach. That's why I can't hate like I want to.
Yeah, like y'all gonna, yeah.
Gary, I just want you to know, because Mike Tomlin is the coach, the biggest hater thought that I could develop in my head during that entire time that I was trying to come up with was that they would go 8-1 and they would not go over that. But I'm not going to be a hater. I'm going to say that's a fact.
We did do that in 1 year.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And so I'm not going to be a hater. I'm going to say that's a fact. I think that does.
That's a good bet too.
Damn,
They're
let's
gonna
know the
lose.
cool
Hell of a
stuff
good
now.
bet.
They're going to lose week 1. They're going
I'm
to
a
get
little
cooked
nervous
week
now.
1.
I'm
But
actually
they
more
got
nervous now, guys.
They
Damn,
got a
y'all
lot
give
of
too much
Gary.
love.
Gary, they got a lot of cake on the schedule. So yeah,
Lot of cake.
Lot of
Especially
fluff.
week 1. Week 1 starting, that was eat cake one. Cake walk.
Kevin, are you going to make it unanimous while I refill my water?
I think it's gonna be fact, man. But I think the 2 games that give me the biggest scare is the Cleveland Browns. Gary, if you guys can guarantee me that you guys are gonna beat the Cleveland Browns twice, I'm all in. But
Y'all beat them twice last year.
Watson.
Yeah,
I
but
forgot
now it's a
about
full year to Deshaun Watson. You know, he's coming back. It's a full year to Deshaun Watson. So I really
It's
just
the
don't know
Browns.
if I can really put my money on that, because I don't
It's
know
the
where you
Browns.
guys stand. But besides those 2 games, like we mentioned, there's a lot of cake. I think
I'm glad
the
I
Raiders
wore
is
some
an easy
gold.
dub. Texans is an easy dub. That's 2. We got
Yeah.
the Rams, the Titans, the Packers. We got the Cardinals. That's 6. The
All
Patriots,
3 of those teams go on the
7. Colts,
downfall,
that's
too.
8. We
All
got
those
the
teams are on the
Seahawks.
downfall.
So it really comes down to those Brown games, and
Y'all
you know,
gonna be at the
I-
playoffs. Y'all fuck around and win.
Y'all
the
might
game.
fuck around and do something,
If
but
they-
it's like
3 wild card spots now.
I gotta
He
let
can
you
get his
know,
head out
Gary.
of his ass.
The Jaguars are on that schedule, and we're talking future bets. I'm coming back for my money.
Oh,
I'm coming back.
Come
They
back
tied
for it.
last year. They tied last year, so I didn't lose nothing. But I'm coming back, Gary. We coming
Everybody
back.
get the
Come
number 1
back.
seed.
I'm waiting for you.
Kevin is coming back for the money that in his head he thought he had locked up, but then it didn't actually happen. He thought it was that easy money. But we shall see, you know, and that, Kevin, I'm glad that you made that point, because that was going to be the question that I had, is because I mean, when you were going through that schedule, I heard you mention Ravens. Gary was like, dub. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I think that they're going to go 0-4 against the Ravens and the Bengals. They might
Damn.
split with the
Bro.
Browns, but they have a
I don't
lot of
know
cake
about
on the
that
rest
one,
of their
though. I don't know
schedule.
about that
The
one.
reason why I said over is because
Individual
Mike Tomlin is the head coach, and they have a lot of cake on their schedule. Kevin, I saw you do 2-4. That's probably more realistic overall, but I'm gonna be a hater in this sense, and I'm gonna say 1-5 in the division.
I don't know, man. It's not our first year
Lamar
playing
gonna
none of these
find
guys. Lamar and Joe had been in our division now for a few years. It's not like we don't know how to play
The
these guys.
Steelers
And
play
we
the
actually got
division
someone
rivals tough
good at
every
quarterback
single
now.
year, no matter who's
Every
Everything.
single year. But I'm telling you, a full year to Deshaun Watson. I don't know what we're gonna get.
Deshaun
So
play.
if Deshaun Watson
Guard,
comes
though.
back and
Come on.
comes back AFC Championship, Deshaun, you guys are the worst team in that division.
Big hit.
Our team is well put together. Very well put together. I know you guys liked our draft as well. So let's see.
The quarterback is my only concern with y'all team.
Let's
He's
just
on his
look at the
media tour right
AFC
now,
North. Why don't we? We have Deshaun Watson. We have Joe Burrow. Oh, we have Lamar Jackson. And then there's Kenny Pickett.
Slash.
Yeah, it's Mr. 2-minute drill, last end of the year.
Two
All right,
left
guys,
teams.
laugh all you want. All right, laugh. All
Oh,
you
we
want.
will. And we will continue to laugh all the way
We'll
into
laugh
week 1
after
and
week one.
through week 1.
Oh, I can't wait for week 1. Week 1's gonna be painful.
For
Yeah,
one of
for
the
you,
days.
buddy.
Isn't it at Heinz Field too? Week 1, or they don't call it Heinz Field. No.
Yep.
It's going to
No,
be
it's-
at whatever they call it now.
Akasher.
What?
What?
You can't even say
Akasher.
yourself. You
No,
can't
it's
even.
called Akasher.
When they
That's how you
changed
say
it,
it.
they changed it last year, right?
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, it's Heinz Field.
All right, guys, we got a couple more topics here on episode number 31 of Stats Over Politics. It will always be Heinz Field, just like Arco will always be Arco. And so now let's get,
son. New era.
well, that's a brand new arena. I'm just talking about when they called it Power Balance and Sleep
Oh,
Training.
God.
Yeah.
No. All right, guys. So let's
Or
get to
Staples.
this NFL topic real quickly. As the Cardinals release DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, for Jaevon and I, that's great news. Get him the fuck out the division, as he had 2 years and $34 million left on his. Oh, he sure did. Absolutely. Especially during that 2020 season when we were just bad.
14
and
catches.
he just wanted to cook us on an every week basis. And so, Jaevon, I'll throw it to you first, since you are the fan of the NFC West in this chat. So what are your thoughts on this move?
So I heard him go on I Am Athlete, and he was just kind of, there was a lot of breadcrumbs that we were kind of seeing. He was like, well, what do you look for in a team? Well, I look for a quarterback that's got to be dedicated to the game. He's a guy that can elevate his teammates. Well, what about Kyler? What about the GM? It's like, oh shit, I don't know about the GM because I don't really know too much about him, but he's got to be able to build a team up, and the coach, I don't know, because he ain't never been a head coach before. So the little breadcrumbs that he was dropping on I Am Athlete that you're kind of seeing, the stuff that he looks for in a team, and then the guys that he was listed, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, those are like top guys in the league. He's like, all right, and then you're kind of looking like, well, how's he going to be able to trade based on his salary? Like, how's he going to be able to get over there, this, that, and the third? And, now he's cut me, and, maybe Hop is probably going to – Hopkins might take, he might not get like a, 20 – he's a top receiver, I believe, in this league. I think he's a $20 million guy. But I don't think that he's going to play for like a 1 year, $20 million. He's probably going to play for like a 1 year, maybe 10. You might get DeAndre Hopkins on a cheaper deal because he's going to try and, get with a contender. It's looking like it's either the Bills or the Chiefs. That's kind of what it's looking like, as we've kind of been seeing in reports lately. The Bills don't want the Chiefs to get him, and the Chiefs don't want the Bills to get him. So it's kind of just like, all right, who's gonna take the crown? You want to play with Mahomes? You want to play with Josh Allen? Both teams, Mahomes just did it.
Bro, play with the baby goat.
But Mahomes did it. He did it without really a number one receiver. Albeit he does have Travis Kelce. He's technically a receiver, but he's a tight end. He kind of just like, all right, McCole Hardman, Kadarius Toney, and Juju doing the TikTok dances in the end zone and getting pulled at the end, trolling all the Eagles players in the offseason. Well, that's another story for another day. But I really think DeAndre Hopkins, if I were to bet my money on, I think he goes to the Chiefs. And that's just, play with Mahomes. Best player in the league. Gary said it, baby goat. I mean, why not? Why not? I mean, you could other places he could be cold to. I would love to see him play with Lamar, Odell, Zay Flowers. That tandem would be pretty insane. And he was one of the guys they listed on his list. I don't even think Mahomes was on his. Oh, he was. I mean,
of course,
can't go wrong.
So, Gary, what do you think about Cardinals releasing DeAndre Hopkins, and where might he go?
I just wanted to know if he
going to the Steelers.
You recall? No, he's not. You remember we draft good wide receivers already. I'm not worried about that one. But I was gonna say, you guys remember that Hail Mary from D Hop? That was one of the great
Hail
plays.
Murray, yes.
That's why we lived that great play that DeAndre Hopkins and Kyle Murray created real quick. So that's kind of one of the biggest. I guess biggest video, whatever, biggest moment I remember from that tandem there. So I wish I could have made it work. I still like Kyler, even though he clearly has a little bit of issue just in growth of becoming the quarterback or franchise of a quarterback. So I think he's going to get there. He still has a lot of talent. So like Vaughn mentioned, he labeled all those quarterbacks and all the things he should do. Again, I sit right here. Thank God the Cardinals released him because he's first team all professional. If anyone who speaks about D Hop always talks about how he's like all professional, all work, and he's been every time he's on that field.
Kevin
and he's
talking reckless about DeAndre.
Check the field. So I was gonna say that. What'd you say, Vaughn? My bad, I missed you. What'd you say?
Kevin was talking reckless about DeAndre Hopkins in the group chat. Reckless.
I don't know. Anyways, I know that he maybe his last couple of years hasn't been the best due to his health, but I feel like if he can get his health together, I still feel like he has a good spark plug in him for the good team, a Super Bowl winning team, like we mentioned. I think he has his head in the right place. I feel like he should go to either the Bills or the Chiefs, and then that little competitive that whole, I guess, when to call it, I don't know if they rivalry just yet. I mean, I guess, but if you want to call it rivalry, whatever you want to
At
call
this
it.
point, yeah.
I guess you could say I would say I've been on the Chiefs side, so I'm gonna keep rocking with the Chiefs. I would say go with the baby goat. I think that's the best place could help him out. I feel like he's gonna, do a lot of great things. So I feel like he should go with the Chiefs. But then again, all those quarterbacks you mentioned, you're not gonna go wrong. I actually do, even though it'd be bad for me. I would love to see him and Odell, maybe some top five quarterbacks of the back in the day coming back together and making Lamar look great. So that'd be cool to see too. But I feel like for him, it'd be cool to get him a guaranteed ring or really close to a ring. Not guaranteed, there's no guaranteed, but high chances to ring at all the teams he named. I feel like are still the Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champs. And man, I think D-Hop got some stuff left in him, Kev. I don't feel like you might not agree with that one, but I feel like he got some stuff left in him. Just a spark plug, not a whole great season of prime D-Hop wide receiver type level, but just some prime possessions in the playoffs to get you a catch here and there, to go big body somebody, just make a play. So I feel like he'd be a great asset to a Super Bowl winning team that your Eagles might want as well.
I mean, Kevin, are you going to make it unanimous so far and make it 3 for 3 that D-Hop should sign with the Chiefs? And what do you think about this move overall, the Cardinals releasing him?
So I'm going to give you some numbers. So DeAndre Hopkins, he missed a lot of the games due to PSD. No, it was the drug. It was the performance-enhancing drugs.
Yeah, and then he was hurt too.
So he missed a lot of games. So he played 9 games, 717 yards, 96 targets, 64 catches, 4 touchdowns. So let's just imagine, 9 games. Let's imagine that over a 17-game season. He's easily a 1,000-yard receiver, 6-some touchdowns, 150 targets maybe. So he can still put up the production. And he mentioned he wants to play with a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes. He also mentioned he wants a defense. So because of that defense, we have to take the Chargers off. We have to take the Chiefs off. We have to take the Bills off. So if we're looking at the best defense out of these teams, it's the Baltimore Ravens. And we're going to put a wide receiver core of Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham, DeAndre Hopkins, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, J.K. Dobbins. It goes on and on and on.
Lamar
There's no other place you would want to play. They're going to let Lamar open and throw it up. He said he was throw for 6,000 yards. There's no way for him to get to 6,000 yards without adding a DeAndre Hopkins to this team.
So he'd be the number one option on this team, right?
100%.
Got you.
Yeah. So I think that's the best place for him to play.
Jaevon, I mean, you were kind of alluding to something that we talked about in the group chat there. Can you just explain a little bit later, a little bit more for our listeners? Because you were asking Kevin, would he be the number one on the Ravens? The answer is yes, but Kevin doesn't think he would be the number one on every team.
So Kevin was saying there was something that he posted that the Eagles have a chance to get DeAndre Hopkins, because I guess the Eagles have a chance to get anybody in the league that's ever.
Third Batman.
Everybody wants to come, bro. It's not my fault.
And Kevin,
he listed us.
Kevin went on to say that if he were to come to Eagles, he would be the 4th option on this team. And I looked
behind Dallas Goedert. Behind Dallas Goedert.
Kevin is out of his gourd for even thinking that he's anything less than 2. Kevin already mentioned the numbers. He had 700 yards in 9 games and 4 touchdowns. You said 64 receptions. That's in 9 games. You could argue he could be the one
with
option.
Kyler,
you could argue on that team he'd probably be the number 1 option. I still think it would be A.J. Brown, just given his physical gifts. He's a lot more explosive. But definitely the number 2 option. Like, definitely the number 2 option.
Devontae Smith ain't nothing to sneeze at, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, but he's not DeAndre Hopkins. I'll say that. But
I bet Kevin was just looking at some stats real quick.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. I was just waiting for Sean to point down at me and let me know to go.
And he also said Dallas Goedert would be ahead of him. So he's like, that puts him down at number 4, which was
Kevin. I mean, it's disrespectful. So
I
number 2 behind AJ Brown. Get that completely. completely.
I understand.
Number 3 behind Devontae Smith. I'm like, I feel like Smith needs to prove it a little bit more, but I can see it. I can see it. Number 4 behind Dallas Goedert. Stop.
They're
Tell me
disrespectful to the guy.
That's the truth.
Well, I mean, this is stats
shouldn't
over
even go there if
politics.
they say
Kevin
that.
just got some
Something
stats ready
crazy.
for us. So, Kevin, tell us why we're wrong. Stats over politics.
So I mentioned the numbers for DeAndre Hopkins. Could you guys name me another receiver on that team?
Who?
On the Cardinals.
Michael Pittman. No, Pittman.
Was
Nobody.
Was Moore on there this year?
It doesn't matter. What I'm getting at is
Rondell Moore.
there's no one else
Yeah.
to throw to. There's no one else to throw
no,
to. So
Hollywood.
I'm
Hollywood
happy he's putting up these numbers.
Oh, yeah, Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood's on the team. Zach Ertz.
Zach
Hollywood's
Ertz.
hurt.
Zach Ertz got hurt.
Now we're throwing names out for
Now
Kevin.
we're throwing names out here. Okay, but
All right, go ahead.
None of
Your
those
point
guys
is,
are
yeah.
better than DeAndre Hopkins, so he's going to get every target. If Dallas Goedert finishes a 17-game season, you guys understand that he finishes with 1,000 yards. So that's 3 1,000-yard receivers between those 3 weapons that you guys said he would become behind.
if-
So that's 3 1,000-yard receivers, and we're going to add DeAndre Hopkins into the mix, a guy that we do not need on our team. So if you want to come over here and play with Jalen Hurts and this good defense, you're not going to come and be the number 2 option. It just doesn't make sense. We have Devontae Smith, who's arguably a top 10 receiver, AJ Brown, arguably top 5. You know, a lot of people might think this is crazy, but Dallas Goedert could be a top 3 tight end.
Oh my God, bro. He's going on TikTok.
We have the weapons,
He's going on
so I just don't believe that DeAndre
Yeah, make
Hopkins
sure you pick
comes
yourself
and
this time, Kev.
becomes the number 1 option or the number 2 option in a Philadelphia Eagles offense.
All right, we shall see. I mean, football season is coming up quickly before we know it. And so, Kevin, I mean, I'm sure you heard all of the chirps in between. You were making your great point there. Are you going to put yourself on TikTok for that one about Dallas Goedert being ahead of DeAndre Hopkins in the Eagles offense?
Please.
Of course, and y'all gonna be mad because it ain't gonna be the Gary response.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
just
numbers, baby.
No.
Numbers up.
No, where he needs to clip is when he said Dallas Goedert is the top 3 tight end. That's where he needs to clip. So that was blasphemy.
I mean, I honestly
Kinda
think
the way you wanna
Dallas
cut it,
Goedert.
man.
I honestly think Dallas Goedert being a top 3 tight end is less crazy than Dallas Goedert being ahead of DeAndre Hopkins in that offense. Even with that context, Kevin, DeAndre Hopkins is that guy, in my opinion. People haven't seen it as recently.
I think out of
But
respect, Jalen Hurts would be like, I'm giving him more balls than Dallas Goedert.
Out of respect, what does respect
Out of
do?
respect.
I mean,
Can't stay on
Gary,
the field.
yeah, Gary, it's also whoever is open.
Oh,
Yeah,
you played long
but-
enough. Let me go ahead and throw you the ball. Let's try to recreate that.
Yeah,
Bills
it's
picture.
called respect
No.
level. Yeah, they had that in the league. That's why I didn't think Odell was getting.
And that's why we got
balls
AJ
on
Brown
the
and
Rams.
Devontae Smith.
Oh God.
I know you guys know that. Javon heard it. He didn't enjoy it.
Cavs back.
Cavs back.
So just for everyone to know, the leaderboard of the Thoughts Pop Quiz after 30 episodes is Kevin with 15, Toddy with 11, and Gary with 9. So Gary and Toddy each picked up a point last week when Kevin was sleeping. So we'll see if Kevin can keep his lead at the top. Let's get it started. So this is Shaun's Pop Quiz. Jaevon, I'm sorry, but it's the Eastern Conference Finals edition of Shaun's Pop Quiz. So, Kevin, here we go. Derek White is the second player in NBA history to make a game-winning buzzer beater when facing elimination in his team trailed prior to the shot. Who was the other player, Kevin? I mean, Gary put a hand up. Kevin's already dancing.
They already know the answer.
I mean, should I say? I mean, for real quickly for the rest of the panel, I guess this must have been too easy of a question. You guys tell me my questions are
No,
too hard.
Kev gets that.
That's
He starts, right?
He will. But what I was going to ask you guys is, I was only going to ask him the player. Should I also ask him the year?
No,
Or is that too much?
absolutely
No.
not.
That's too much. Okay.
I'll get the
Who
bonus
is that
question for the
player?
year.
Who is that player? So I'll just read the question one more time for our audio-only listeners. Derek White is the second player in NBA history to make a game-winning buzzer beater when facing elimination, and his team trailed prior to the shot. Who was the other player, Kevin? This is your
Depending on
question.
you
Go
who
ahead.
you ask this, they might say he's the GOAT, but you ask me, it ain't. So I'm gonna go with the second player of all time, Michael Jordan.
All right, well, ding, ding, ding. That is correct. Michael Jordan is the answer. As this, I mean,
Greg Elo,
anyone
Cleveland,
have
right?
any? Does anyone have
97?
any type? Excuse me. What'd you say, Gary?
97 Cleveland over Greg Elo?
Well, you got it half right.
96.
Too bad that wasn't a bonus question. No, it was actually 89. It was an 89, but against Cleveland. It was against Cleveland, but it was an 89. So Kevin gets the point there. Kevin is now up to 16 at the top of the leaderboard. So now it is
I really heard that today.
It's cold up at the top of the mountaintop. It's cold.
Well, I understand.
Now-
Maybe we should start from the last person because the worst in the league, like lottery pick wise, NFL pick, you go start with the last. Because I'm the last. I don't know. Just wondering. Just throwing that out there, guys. Chilling for an idea.
Okay, Gary, then you'll go next. Game
Sorry, too late now.
Gary, game 6 was the 6th game-winning buzzer beater when facing elimination in NBA history, and the first since who did it? So I'll read the question one more time. Game 6, when Jaevon Celtics beat the Heat. Too bad they couldn't do it in Game 7. Game 6 was the 6th game-winning buzzer beater when facing elimination in NBA history, and the first since who did it? I'm just asking.
The first person who did it first?
No. The first since someone did it most recently.
Last? Dame.
Yeah, the last person to do
Dame
it.
Lillard.
Oh,
Is it Dame Lillard?
is that your final answer?
Is that
your final answer?
It's my final
That is
answer. It has to be
incorrect because if you read the screen, it
I bet
says
you read
Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, then it's Kawhi.
Well, you missed your question, Kevin. Jaevon, do you want
So
to?
now I just give the answer and they're just going to give it to me now?
Kevin
I was
put his
first.
hand up. Kevin put his hand up first. So
I
Kevin,
thought it was next.
Now you gotta raise your hand.
You have your own
Oh.
question. That was to try and steal Gary's question because Gary
31
just
episodes
botched it.
in. You know technicalities.
Game 6. I mean, I will say Kevin pays attention to the rules. There's a reason why he's up top. But Game 6 was the 6th game-winning buzzer beater when facing elimination in NBA history, and the first since who? Who was it, Kevin?
Shout out to my man Gary. We got Kawhi Leonard.
Did you know that before Gary said it?
No,
Yeah,
you
I
didn't
did.
know it.
Yeah, I did, bro. Because
okay.
they were all talking. So I honestly think I know what his next one's gonna be too. I think
Okay,
I think
well,
I can go 3 for
so
3.
all right.
I would have
so
got all these
Kevin
right
just-
today. Damn. Would have been an epic comeback.
Gary, I don't want to hear shit from you because you just absolutely butchered your own question. So no more
I did
excuses.
the question.
Get out
I
of
didn't read it
here.
right.
Yeah, you just didn't pay attention.
I didn't even notice. I just look. Eastern Finals Conference Edition. I didn't even look at
I
that.
said it at the beginning. It's been there the whole time. I mean, I don't
thinking
know what to tell
broad.
you.
League broad. You feel me?
All right.
Anyway,
So just real quickly, I mean, this isn't a bonus question, but do you guys know when Kawhi did it?
2019.
There we go. Everyone got it. And it was against
Versus
the
Sixers.
76ers
Over
as
Embiid.
we covered earlier. Exactly. All right, Jaevon. Now it is time for your
Don't
question.
miss.
Jaevon, this player recorded his 7th 30-point, 10-rebound, 5-assist game, tying LeBron James in 2018 for the most in a single postseason in NBA
I'll let
history.
you
Gary,
get
I
some,
see
Gary.
you for the steal. If Jaevon doesn't get it, I'll repeat the question one more time before we get Jaevon's answer. This player recorded his 7th 30-point, 10-rebound, 5-assist game, tying LeBron James in 2018 for most in a single postseason in NBA history. Jaevon, who is this player?
Joker.
Oh, you are just like Gary.
Come on,
Jay,
Eastern Conference,
Jaevon,
baby.
why didn't you just pay attention to what just happened to Gary? Eastern Conference Finals edition.
Damn,
You're
that's-
wrong.
And
Gary,
Bron,
you put
how
your
you
hand
missed
up.
this, bro? This is
Gary,
shame
I did it
on
for you,
Miss-
Gary. I did it for you.
Watch Gary get it wrong.
If I don't get this right,
Gary-
kids, Jason Tatum.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct. It is Jason
There you go.
Tatum. So,
And I ain't
So,
gonna lie, dang, it's
Gary gets the point.
it's the only edition I got a chance to come back. That's why I'm so mad. It's the only edition I got a chance to come back.
So what Gary is saying, as Kevin, I'm sure you listened, he is not very happy with his WNBA knowledge. So yeah. But anyways, thank you to everyone for
It was a
tuning
0
in
point
for
lead for me.
another episode of Stats Over
We got a bonus
Politics.
question, Sean? What's up?
We got a Katie's pop quiz.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's what we got these bonus questions. Come on now.
Just one knockout.
We got a Katie's
Sorry.
pop quiz. So
All right, go
we
ahead.
just got to witness another Game 7. So we'll let Sean get this one first. Who has played in the most Game 7s in NBA history?
Bro. Oh, sorry.
I
Player
mean,
wise, right?
first instinct with Kevin asking me is to think LeBron, but I'm gonna I'm gonna go with Big Shot Bob, Robert Ory.
Oh, I was thinking that too.
Incorrect. Who got?
LeBron.
No, incorrect. Gary, what you thinking?
Jerry West.
Incorrect. Let's go another
Wait,
round.
hold on. Haven't we been through this before? Derek Fisher.
No, that's one of the most series. Who's playing the most game 7s is the question. Who's playing the most game 7s?
That's a tough one.
I don't know. Go.
Toddy's got to kick himself when I tell him.
Jason Tatum?
Is it a
Larry
primetime
Bird?
player?
You know, he was a primetime. He no longer plays, you guys. He no longer plays.
But he was a primetime player, though, right?
He was a primetime player.
Ooh.
All right. So the record is 11 wins with Ray Allen.
Ooh.
At second, we have a
sense.
3-way tie with all Celtics. Can you guys name me those 3 Celtics that are all tied for second place with 10 game 7s?
Bird.
I don't know if I think it's the Bill Russell.
Bill Russell.
Bill's one of the 3.
Bill-
Who are the
Bill
other 2?
Russell. Who would play with him? Oh my God, I don't know. How can I
Robert
tell you?
Parrish?
Play with?
Uh-uh.
He played
No,
with
Robert
Larry.
Parrish was 20 years after. So Bill Russell.
Fun fact, one of you guys are actually still playing.
JT?
Toddy, stop guessing JT.
Brown.
Marcus
He's mad.
Smart?
He's mad that he missed his own JT. Is it Celtic?
Brown.
Al Horford.
Al Horford. Who's the last Celtic to play?
That was
10
a good.
games
That was a
Celtics?
good hint. That was a good hint. Thank you,
There's
Kevin.
one more we're missing, and I'm surprised he wasn't the first name guessed.
Larry Bird.
Bill Russell, Al Horford, and Paul Pierce.
Kevin McHale?
Paul Pierce.
All tied with second. All tied.
Hey, I redeemed myself. myself.
You're not
All
a
right.
real Celtics fan.
Right,
I know,
Toddy?
right? I'm
saying,
taking all of
told you.
Toddy's questions. I got the green under the bill of this Sac Republic hat. I guess maybe that's where it's coming from. Kevin, you got any more for us?
No, that was one question I had.
Oh well, I appreciate that. That was a good one. He had me stumped. Any closing thought, gentlemen? I mean, we're getting out of here under 2 hours today, which I think is pretty solid.
Record breaking.
No fallouts. Hey man, we're building.
We're building,
Before
baby.
10 o'clock. I mean, we're hitting. on
Go
all
tune into the
cylinders.
pod. Go share, like, subscribe. Tell your mama, tell your dada, tell your granny, tell everybody now. Come on now. Spread the love.
We everywhere like the pandemic, baby, like Gary said.
Straight
And
up.
make sure that you check out our amazing.
By the
social
way,
media
DeAndre
channels.
Hopkins has 7,000 yard receiving yards in a season. So 7 seasons, 1,000 yards.
We're talking about D-Hop?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for killing the plug we were trying to do at the end.
Breaking news on episode 31 of Stats Over Politics. DeAndre Hopkins is really, really good. We'll try to convince Kevin that over the next couple of weeks. We'll catch you next week.
Peace.